Let's go to Ogun State. What is happening in Ogun State? Should Ogun State land be something you look at all? Are you interested in expansion? Are you interested in spreading your tentacles? Or are you just okay with struggling with government policies, with different kinds of government movement and annoyances in Lagos? Is Ogun State worth your investment? And that's what we are going to be looking at in this video. Lands that are sold for less than 10 million naira today can be sold or will be sold for upwards of 50 million naira in the next couple of years. And I'm not just saying this because, of course, I'm in real estate. No, we have seen it. If you go to places like Magboro today, go to Opik, you hear the amount that lands are selling for. Go to Arepo. If you hear the amount that lands are selling for, then you would know that the amount those lands are selling for today were not what they were bought yesterday. So if the lands have increased, what makes you think other areas too are not going to increase? Or what makes you think they are going to remain where they are? So this is what we want to look at today. And not to sound like a broken record, not to sound like cliches, but these things are true. Land increase in price. A lot has happened when it comes to land all over Lagos, all over Nigeria. In fact, farmlands that used to sell for 1 acre for 200,000 naira are now going upwards of 1 acre for 1 million naira. Why? Because people are now actively engaging and involving in farmlands. And you know what they will say in Lagos? That 10, 15 years ago, Lekki was selling for this amount, now he's selling for that amount. Ajah was selling for this amount, now he's selling for that amount. And right now, those areas are almost unaffordable. If you have a land in Lekki right now, it's only a few subset of people that can purchase that land from you. A lot of people will be looking at you to do JV with them. You understand? So don't make this same mistake again when it comes to Ogun State real estate. So what is happening right now is that there's a migration story happening. You know, if you watch a lot of Nigel Wide, you will see when they call them wildebeests. A lot of them, especially when rainy season starts, they know that they have to move from a particular region to a particular region for them to be able to sustain themselves. And when rainy season is over, they move again from that region to another region for them to be able to sustain. As is, it is in something that is unintelligent as a wildebeest. A wildebeest is like a wild animal in the bush, unintelligent. And even while they are moving, that movement also creates a lot of food for crocodiles because they have to cross rivers. It creates a lot of food for lions, lions that were hungry before, that don't know what they have to do next. Food just come. It is recorded that when those wildebeests move from the area that they were to the area that they need to survive, at least it's only 75% of them that makes it, because some of them are food for lions, some of them are food for wildebeest, sorry, for crocodiles and things like that. It also happens in humans. Nigerians now who cannot afford Lagos again, they are beginning to move into Ogun State. And you, as a discerning investor, need to go and position for them so that they can become food to you in terms of how the spaces that they need to use. The spaces that they need to use. I was coming from Ogun State a couple of days ago, and what shocked me the most was that at around 8 a.m., when I was going into Ogun State, the road was very free. The other side I was coming into the Lagos was practically blocked, and it was not a festive, it's not a layer. What happened is that people are coming into Lagos to work. And while I was done with my business in Ogun State and I was coming back at around 4 p.m., guess what? The area that was going into the Ogun State Immediately after OPIC, like you're going into the long bridge, congestion started happening because people are going back to their houses in redemption camp, in Mowe, in Ibafo, all the way down to Shagamu, because that is where they could afford. People are buying lands, they are building houses. And there are lands that people have just bought there that they are not using, that you could come with money and develop houses for these people to take. And you make money at the end of the day. You share profit with the landowner, and everyone is happy. This is how this thing works. This is how investment works. So that is the migration story. So where are people going to? People are going to Mowe, they are going to Ibafo, they are going to Shimawa, they are going to Obafemi Owode, they are going to Shagamu, and they are going to Abeokuta. This is what we call the spillover market. Note these areas. If you're doing anything in Ogun State, these are the prime areas you should be doing them now. Later, they will expand. Ogun State is large. Ogun State starts all the way immediately after Bega. Yeah, and it goes all the way Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to the boundary between Ibadan. Long road. Ogun State is long. Ogun State is big. Ogun State is long. So there are so many opportunities to occupy right now. And also development is coming hugely into the state. A lot of all these Asian companies, they are setting up in Ogun State. And if you've ever taken the train too from Yaba to Ibadan, those areas they pass in Ogun State, what you just be seeing are companies, you just be seeing different kind of settlements, and you know that there's a huge potential for Ogun State. So if you're doing anything in Ogun State right now, you should be looking at these areas. And I'm employing you to start doing something in Ogun State. And I'm employing you to start going to Ogun State and getting lands and positioning. But do not make the mistake that a lot of people made in Ibeju-Lekki. And it was just because of a lack of knowledge. It was really nobody's fault. Government never really declared their intention for Ibeju-Lekki. And so what happened is that people moved in there, and then later government started declaring their intentions. What I mean by this is that government is always slow. People move faster than government. But what I want you to do is, because of this backstory, approach investing in Ogun State with foresight. That, okay, where are the spaces that government has released? Where are the spaces that have a genuine C of O? Where are the places that have a genuine government allocation? Those are the spaces you should be looking at. Well laid out environment, not just bare land in any of these locations. It is very important, brothers and sisters. Why are these places booming? So I'm going to make it very simple. People living in these areas are still working in Lagos, Ikeja, Baga, Ojota, Yaba. So they earn Lagos money, but they live where they can still afford. That is why prices in these places are also rising fast. I said that earlier. So the big shift, the truth most people don't understand, these places are no longer priced like Ogun State. They are priced like Lagos State. They are already making Lagos money because Lagos is the one driving the demand. So let's punch some real numbers now. If you're looking at a land, I'm talking about genuine verified land, documented land, land that you can go to sleep with two eyes closed, that I have a land in Ogun State and it is secured because I have my documents and they are in my name. Then in Mowe, we are looking at land upwards of 20 million naira. At Redemption Camp is a city of its own. It is a city of its own, and because of that city, a lot of properties around that area has been affected positively. They generate their own electricity. It's a self-sufficient city, and because of that, a lot have been affected. A lot. Hardly would you be able to find land around that area for less than 20 million naira. Then there's Magboro for 30 million to 40 million. There's Ibafo up to 100 million in prime locations. Yeah, Ibafo is where Mountain of Fire is, very close to Baga. However, there are a lot of swampy areas in Ibafo, so you have to be careful. And almost most lands that are close to the Lagos to Ibadan Expressway are going to be used for commercial at the end of the day. So you also have to be very careful, except you have commercial ideas at heart. So Shagamu, 15 million upwards. There are good estates in Shagamu. Obafemi Owode, 6 million upwards, just after the Shagamu interchange. There's one property that is selling right now, which is the Oakville Estate. Oakville. It is off the Shagamu to Abeokuta Expressway. Comes with a C of O, and is one of those properties that are selling there. Then there's Abeokuta. Abeokuta is selling for upwards of 12 million naira in 2024. Now it is upwards of 20 million naira. And guess what? People are acquiring these lands. This is very important for you to know. So, what are 4 money plays that you can do to take advantage of these opportunities that are in Ogun State? Number one, build to sell. When it comes to build to sell, you look for area that has demand. You don't just go and build something in Bakpalanto and expect that somebody is coming to buy it. I hope you understand that. Why does it work? People want cheaper alternatives to Lagos. A house where they can get in, come out. So they are looking at Mowe. Opik. Opik. They are looking at Ibafo. And estates around that area that are already defined. Arepo. Arepo. Arepo is a gold mine right now, and they are ready to pay. Number two, build to rent. You can say, oh, I don't want to sell. I just want to be earning rental income. So these are the areas you stay with. This is a very powerful role right now. Many flats are going for upwards of 700K. I'm talking about the lowest right now in places that are not beside the road. Inside, 700 to 1K. When it's the closer to the road, the more money you can command. A 2 bedroom can go up also of 2 million. That's high rent income. And the tenants, they are Lagos workers. People people go from there even to VI to work, and they go back every blessed day. Every blessed day. As an investor, what you're supposed to see are challenges and how to solve it. These things are devoid of emotions. Challenges and how to solve them. You are providing a solution. You are an investor, and you are right to make money from them. Then number three is land banking. You buy land, you keep it for 2 to 5 years and resell later, or you can even build. This is where the long-term money is, because development is still moving outwards. This thing is going all the way to Abeokuta. Abeokuta in itself is a self-existing community. Self-existing community. Number four, joint venture. This was smart investors. You own the land, a developer builds it, and both of you share the profit of the houses. That's how people multiply wealth without spending too much cash. At these places, when you go into OPIC, you find land like this where you can do joint venture. So this joint venture is good in places like OPIC where there's serious demand, so you can make your money back easily. Magboro. People are build to sell in Magboro, in Arepo. Don't go to Mowe yet. Just stay in any of these places. Then if you want to go to a Mowe area, make sure you are doing it somewhere that is very close to the redemption camp, so that you can take advantage of the monthly meetings and the massive yearly meetings that go on there. People will buy so that when they are coming into Nigeria, they can live there and be close to the meetings. Yes, they may close it for the next 9 months. That is not your issue. But whenever they are around, they want to be close to the redemption camp. So you can take advantage of areas that are close to redemption camp. Very important. So the reality check here is that not every land is a good deal. Some are even very expensive, and you still have to sand fill. Like Ibafo. Ibafo has a lot of water land behind. You have to be very careful. So some areas are wetland, they are not yet developed, fake titles. You need to do your due diligence. So the way you need to think is this. Some years ago, for people who lived on the mainland, Lekki was too far. Ajah was called the bush. Today, those places are now commanding premium. And you don't have to live there. You don't have to live there. It is a defeatist mindset. It is a mindset of somebody who is not interested in generational wealth, to say because I can't live there, I can't buy there. I invest in United States stocks. I don't live in United States right now. I have properties in Ibadan. I am not doing this video from Ibadan. I am in Lagos State. I have a oil palm farm in Delta State. I am not there. We are talking about investments right now. You don't have to live there. So what is far today is what will become expensive tomorrow. And as a good investor, you are supposed to follow growth. A lot of the American films I watch will say follow the money. If FBI is trying to track somebody that has done some kind of money laundering, they just trace the money, where it's coming from and where it is going. Money moves. So what money are you following right now? Where is money coming from and where is it going? I can tell you categorically that money is coming from Lagos and it is moving into Ogun State. Follow the money. There you have it. Ogun State is something you should be looking at. If you're interested in expanding your wealth, you don't want to be stuck with the shenanigans of Lagos. To get title is not difficult in Ogun State. To get building approval is not difficult, and you can begin to make this new money that is surfacing on the Nigerian real estate. I'll see you again in the next video.